Butane is flammable. So when customers are reporting that the fuel tank is leaking, that's not a rating problem. That's a liability problem. This product is sitting at 2 stars, and as a QA engineer, my recommendation isn't to fix your listing, it's pull the product immediately. But what happens after the pull? That's what most sellers get wrong, and by the end of this video, I'm going to give you 2 paths forward. And the one you choose depends entirely on where your inventory sits and what it costs to fix it. So let's jump into the reviews for this product. We'll go straight into it. We'll start at this one, which mentions a unacceptable quality on every level. And I also love reviews like this. This is very in-depth, a lot of detail here too on the product, what exactly failed. They mentioned that every single one of their lighters, because this is a pack of 4, every single one failed in the exact same way. They all mentioned that they were all leaking out of the back through the vent. So all 4 had the same exact defect. So it seems like a lot, and I'll preface this too, but I looked at some of the 5-star reviews too, and they mentioned that even some of them had a one that was leaking, at least one that was leaking too. So these customers almost seem like they're rolling the die on each of the 4 lighters that they get, and one of them, at least one, and they're rolling the die on each one technically, is going to have an issue. So this isn't a great customer experience at all, especially if they just can't hold butane, period. So these are marked as refillable lighters. The customer even mentions that, and they cannot refuel, which makes them non-functional products. So already poor experience on the customer side on just the first review. Second review is called Waste of Money. So again, we saw a customer like this before that wanted to leave no stars if possible. And this one mentioned that 2 of them wouldn't hold butane at all. They also mentioned that one of them managed to hold butane but wouldn't even light. That's a completely different issue too. Why won't the lighter light? Is it a spark? It mentions that the creates a very low flame too. Like, what is going on here? Obviously the main problem is the fuel tank and the leaking, but what are these other issues too? How are those stemming up? This next one, I actually really like the title of this one. The worst way to create fire since the beginning of mankind. Mentions these are awful again, not easily filled. They had one product that leaked, and they had an issue with the spark as well. So I just kind of want you to notice something. Every single complaint is pointing to the same component. They're not all pointing to flame height, ergonomics. They're all pointing to the fuel tank, and that's not a coincidence. That's a manufacturing defect. And once you see this pattern as a QA engineer, the review count stops mattering. The question becomes, what do you do with the inventory you already have? And there are a couple things that you'll need to diagnose that too. First thing is root cause. You need to figure out why these are failing, where they're leaking, and how to identify that too. So let's just talk about root cause. You want to look at this for the potential of a rework. You want to look at what is failing the fuel tank in this case. Is the fuel tank replaceable? Do you need replacement parts? Can you make replacement parts? You also want to figure out where the affected inventory is. And you want to know how you can identify if it's affected. Is it a certain lot number that's affected? Is it a certain date code that's affected? How do you know if each one is going to leak fuel? Do you need to put in fuel every time to verify this too? Because this is a completely different thing, and that would take so much more time out of a potential rework. And this is where most sellers make their biggest mistake. They see the rework always as the middle safe option. All I need to do is fix the tank, repackage, and relist. But reworks aren't always the best option. If you think about it on a spectrum of doing nothing and doing a complete recall essentially of the product, sellers think that your rework is always right down the middle, but that's not the right scenario. That's not exactly how it is, because there are a whole bunch of things that could vary that rework cost. Let's talk about location. Is it in the Amazon warehouse? Because that is the most expensive area it could be. Is it in a 3PL? Is it in your warehouse? Is it still with the supplier and hasn't shipped yet? A lot of this will help you gauge how much it'll cost to rework each affected inventory. Because if you think about Amazon warehouse, you'll now need to have that shipped to a separate warehouse, where if it's something one that you have, you need to ship it to your house, whatever it may be. And then you need to have, if it's a lot of product and you can't do it yourself, you need to have a third party come in and do that entire rework. Is it just undoing a couple screws, putting in a new fuel tank, and it's super easy? Or is it a lot more complex? Do these costs actually approach the value of your entire inventory as well? Can you fix maybe some of the inventory that's still by the supplier, because the supplier has all the replacement parts there? They don't need to worry about shipping any replacement parts. They have the tools to work on everything, and they could fix the product there. It's the cheapest place to fix that product. But if you're going all the way down the line to an Amazon warehouse, it becomes more and more expensive. So you need to figure out for each of these areas, what is the value of actually changing out this inventory, of getting new pieces sent over and replacing it. Because if it does run up the entire cost and it becomes in line with your total value of the inventory, it might not be worth it. So I know it's a lot too, and I'll mention actually a hidden benefit too of completely scrapping. So let's say you go down the path number 2, you scrap the entire inventory. Yes, you lose all the bad product, but you also lose the bad reviews. And I want to reiterate that. Yes, you lose the bad product, but you also lose the bad reviews. What does that mean? That means a new ASIN, a new product, and a clean slate. That means you don't have these 2 stars on this starting page that you're trying to claw back from. You're not trying to maybe get to a 3-star and be competitive with the rest. You're completely canceling this listing, putting up a new one. You still have obviously brand damage to this brand because people had poor reviews already. Are they going to trust you again? You'll need to roll the die on that one, but you're not coming down and saying that you're already at 2 stars. You're starting at a fresh, clean slate. You can get some Vine reviews to come in to redevelop your product and start from the ground up. Sometimes starting fresh is actually the highest margin decision that you can make. So if you've got a product that's sitting below 4 stars and you want me to do a breakdown for you, just drop your ASIN number below and I'll pick it up in the next video. I also have 2 other videos, one on a USB fan and one on an electric fly swatter. And both of those I'll link right here. Feel free to check those out. They have more in-depth reviews just like this if you want to get an example for different types of products and different scenarios of what could potentially happen with these products.